Hey, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello.
And this is some more one-on-one Steel Division Normandy 44. So it's been a little bit of time since we were here together, Rang. What do we have on this particular map? Who are the combatants?
Well, we are on St. Mary Arglise today, and on the left-hand side, playing as Vyaliy, it's the 2nd French Armour Division, Mr. Vyaliy, yeah, let's go with that. And on the right-hand side, playing as 352nd Infantry Division, we got Turgon.
Alright, like you said, it is St. Mary Arglise here, but at the same time, it shouldn't be too hard to see that it's going to be tons and tons of light vehicles from the French and tons of infantry from the Germans.
Exactly.
But how is that going to play out? I mean, the French don't have a lot of infantry for their own initial stacks, do they?
Exactly. It is going to be a little bit tough for the French player in the town area because he just does not have as much infantry. He can get, like, Portuguese and Nreve and some other bits and bobs. I find French infantry are much better in open ground engagements where vehicles can come into play. So it's going to be very tough for him in that town. Around the sideshow, we got a few 1.2 kilometer engagements, which is what he needs because that's his Wolverine's ideal engagement distance. So hopefully he can be a bit more light on the town if that's what he wants to do, and try to go around the flanks hard and just ignore the town entirely and then just surround it, because I've seen that strategy work quite a few times on this map. You don't have to go for the town. You can just fight over the flanks and still do a good job.
Now, I do want to touch on that real quick, because if you're looking to the southern side of this town, you see tons and tons of choke points. Do you see him going to have a lot of an issue there, or no?
Probably initially, if he tries to rush through. On his side, he has a few good positions for him to place his Wolverine to shoot into, but maybe some Nreve, some recon, backed up with some Stuart. It shouldn't be too hard on the bottom hand side, because even though it's quite a bit of cover, there's no real line of sight blockage where his vehicles won't be able to shoot into the forest, because they're all set up horizontally instead of vertically, like a rule. So it's not as much cover here for Turgon as you may think.
That's fair. That's more than fair. Actually, going over to Turgon real quick, we're seeing tons and tons of light vehicles early on from him.
Yeah, damn.
I am a little bit shocked to see what we have. What, a Panther 3? We have ourselves, what, I can't even... Is that Czech? No, it's the French, a 35R.
Yeah, the Panjäger thing. Very interesting choice going with both of those tanks. They're not amazing, per se. The Panther 3 is definitely going to help out with the Panzer 35R. So I'm guessing he's going to set it up somewhere up top to deter any light vehicle rushes from the French player.
That seems definitely fair. Now, we are seeing a fair amount of infantry on the middle line for the French. You think he's just going to try to rush the town anyway? Even though we kind of just figured out that might not be the best option?
Well, he's got two Nreve right off the bat, which is very expensive at 60 point sheets. They're good infantry, and the half-track's amazing when supporting. It's just going to be about using his fire support vehicles, rails such as the Stuart and Mortar and whatnot, to win the town engagement, because the infantry can't win by themselves.
Alright, but we are off though. Let's take a quick look at the initial dispositions. It does look like the French are doing a tiny bit more aggressive than the Germans, which I have to say is a little bit surprising for me. What do you think?
For the town, yeah, definitely so. They're saying quite a bit, just in terms of money. I want to say it's at least over a third, maybe even half of his money, just for that town engagement. While Turgon, he does have a Panther 35R, which will be pretty useful in knocking out half-tracks, but not much in infantry, really, which is quite interesting.
Another thing I do want to touch on is that the French flanks are surprisingly modest. We just see just a few, merely just, what is it, recon, and we have a little bit of anti-tank and just a tiny bit of infantry. At the same, a little bit stunned with the kind of conservative breakout from both players.
I was really expecting a Wolverine up top, because once you can break through up top, a lot of open ground, it's a very nice fighting area for that Wolverine, but yeah, I'm definitely surprised about how light he is going on the flanks.
Oh, we're going to have initial engagements already on the southern side of the map. It looks like the MMG's going to come on in. I'm surprised he's not getting wrecked already.
Yeah, he's going to be dead in a second. There we go.
Exactly. So there's already getting some engagements down below. Up above, exchanging a little bit of firepower, but the recon's already been taken on out.
Yeah.
Kind of shocking. But like you said, the Nueves are in the middle part of the map, and these guys are fairly well armored. Can you, armed rather. Can you kind of tell me what's going on with them? Are they analogous to any other kind of infantry unit?
In the center?
Yes.
So you got the Nrave, they're pretty decent in terms of weaponry. Compared to Elstrupen, they're very identical when it comes to weapons. Just the Nrave has one extra submachine gun. The half-tracks, as you can see, are just going ham. 50 cals don't mess around. And same with the Honey turret. And this is very good for Mr. Vyaliy, because there's no AT in the middle, so he can just roll in with his light vehicles and take the town rather easily. If these are Panzer Grenadiers or Pouchjagers, I think he'd have a bit more of a difficult time, because those Panzerfaust would be knocking him out. Definitely at range, definitely at range.
And that's definitely something I wanted to bring up. First of all, we are seeing 55% already over to the French. I mean, of course, the French do fall off later on as the match goes. But how do you feel about these breakouts so far? It seems the Germans have gotten a little bit knocked off their initial footing.
Yeah, as you've seen, Turgon's now moving his armoured force down to the centre to try and clear things up. The Stuart does go down. We've got bomb and run from Stuka.
Yes,
Very interesting.
Just going to mention, I'm surprised. I mean, the 352nd is not exactly known for their air power yet. Here we go, a quick dive bomb, and that might be... No, never mind, the mortar does survive that.
Yeah, very interesting choice getting the Stuka out of the bat. I used to think it was a pretty terrible plane, and it's not great. But it's only 110 points, Kyle. That is cheap as chips when it comes to a bomber. And when it comes to this stage of the match, where there's no AA to really speak of, you can bring it up, bomb some stuff, and then get out easy peasy like.
Now, explain this to me. Maybe I'm not quite comprehending this, but why are we seeing such a concentration of armor from the 352nd in the middle?
I don't get it either, to be honest. I mean, he had to initial Panzerjäger and Panzer III to take up top, but there's nothing really for him to do. It seems like he's going to be relocating up top and use his armor to just try and get round, but in the town, he really needs to get some infantry, because he needs to hold on to that town, because if the French player can push past the town, look at our open ground. Wolverine's going to love it if Mr. Vyaliy does decide to get a Wolverine, which doesn't seem to be the case so far.
I was going to say, looking at the first reinforcements from the French, we are seeing another kind of, was it a Char M3A3? I think it wasn't a variant of a Stuart? Might be wrong there.
Yeah, it's just a Stuart, essentially. It's an older model, it's not the M5, but it's pretty much the same thing between the M5 and the M3.
But we're seeing a little bit more infantry being thrown into the middle, and it's kind of funny for me to see that both sides seem to be playing exactly opposite to how they're constructed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Turgon's making some pretty good progress down south. There's not much here to stop him, and from Applefield to Applefield, that's going to be a lot of nice cover for him to take advantage of.
Now, one thing I do want to check out, though, let's take a quick look over at Turgon's view. He does not see in the north. Okay, you see that tree line just to the west of his armored vehicles? There are some French hiding in there with bazookas.
Oh, yeah.
And he does not know that they're there. That has me a little bit concerned for him.
Yeah, it doesn't have the recon up yet. If you look at a bazooka, it's actually just barely behind the tree line, so...
I didn't notice that. You're right.
Yeah, so I bet it's just going to wait till the vehicle's getting close, pop over, and then bada bing, bada boom.
Now, in the meantime, I don't want to distract you too much with this, but that new Stuart that just came in, well, he met his maker. That Pack 38 in the south just has a beautiful firing arc.
Very good line of sight.
Actually, I'm kind of curious how he even shot at that... smoke. Okay, smoke's in the way. So unfortunately, that smoke cover from the mortar did not go down in time. And we have another run coming up from that Stuka. At first, you don't succeed. Try again, he says.
and well, he only killed 2 guys last time, so unless he can get 3 kills, Rich.
And he does.
There we go. Lucky duck, yeah. And knocking out that mortar is definitely going to save him a bit of trouble, keeping that pack gun alive. And Turgon's getting an AA piece, which is rather surprising. I believe it's just a Flak 37. Nothing too crazy, but some good extra infantry support.
No, I'll touch on 2 different things. The French brought in 2 interesting pieces now. One was what you were talking about up north, but in the south we're going to see some pioneers coming on out with the flamethrower. Is this a good idea, considering the kind of orchard setup down here, or is this going to fall flat on its face as soon as it gets into range?
If he can get into range with the flamethrowers, he's going to have a damn good time, but bro, the WC-52's pinning down the Osh troop, and you see the IG gun's going to be falling back, but I don't think he's going to be able to get into range of the Fusiliers. It's just not as well covered compared to a forest, and as you can see in the open ground engagement, he's not going to be doing a good job.
And I think we have, and the Junker's right back again. Dear God, this guy is insane.
3 of them, or 2. Yeah, that's a lot of Junkers.
Unless he's going up those pioneers. I'm not sure he's going to hit them. Those guys are falling back already.
Oh, we got fighter, that Spitfire should definitely knock it out.
But the Flak 36 on the ground, I think, might be able to give it just enough pressure to force it away.
Oh, so, okay, this is what he's doing. He's dogfighting the Spitfire, and that may seem completely and utterly ridiculous with a Stuka, but the Stuka has the best turn radius in game, surprisingly. So if you can dogfight with an enemy plane, you can keep out of its range and just let your AA unit stun it up, and that's exactly what he did here. If he just evac, he would have died.
Now, I do want to get back to that in just a second, but we are seeing the Wolverine up north is trying to get himself a line of sight onto any of these vehicles. I'm not sure how well it's really going to work.
It's going to be tough, because it's a bit of a choke point. If he pulled back quite a bit, he'd be in safe engagement distance at his 1.2 kilometers. The reason we're saying that safe is none of the German weaponry in A-Phase, except for Firefly and a Pak-43, can hit you at 1.2 kilometers, especially 352nd. So if he stays that distance, Wolverine can shoot, they can't.
I believe we're going to see the first engagement between those tanks. Oh no, never mind, the 35R does decide to take out that MG instead. Now, I'm waiting for this bazooka to take its first shot, and this Panzer III is giving it a beautiful sight.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure.
He definitely wants to do it soon, because those infantry are going to get in close. You might as well just shoot one and go down stringing.
Actually, nobody really interesting to me. You see this Pioneers just to the south? I would actually kind of love to see this right behind the tree line, and as everyone moves forward...
Oh, yeah.
That would be brilliant. That could be an amazing turnaround there.
Yeah, that could be a real good ambush.
But another Junker... Oh no, he knows the Pioneers are there, and he's pinned them down instead. Yikes.
Yeah, that's going to definitely allow Turgon to get through a very important tree line, because once you get through a tree line, that's a good defensive position, and that'll allow him to take another leap into his northern flank as Wolverine is backing off. And
the Zooks are down as well, and as it continues with how bizarre this is, first of all, the Germans are taking a 51-49 lead now, finally for territory, but they are down almost 500 tickets. But the amusing thing for me is that, take a look at that map right now, who would you think is having the bulge?
Yeah, it's just funny, it went exactly the opposite as we said it did. The French have the town, the Germans have the flanks, and it's going pretty well for Mr. Turgon at the moment on the flanks. He's got a heavy artillery piece in town, and if he can just slowly wrindle rate the troops in the center, he could probably do a counter push and take it back.
Now, we are getting close to Phase B. We know the French kind of drop off, but how would you tell me, what can we expect from the 352nd at this point?
352nd can get some proper tanks, such as Stugs, some more infantry, such as Grenadiers, some very nice artillery pieces, and support weaponry as well. For the French, yeah, right, they do definitely drop off, but they get access to some decent armor, such as M4 Shermans, some artillery pieces, got even a bloody 2-star Greyhound down south, which is going to try and break things up, but I know it's just a slight escalation compared to rain. Nothing really too crazy from both sides, but I really give the B phase in terms of units to Turgon. The points rise, Mr. Vyaliy will still be in the lead, but only by 10.
Now, we're going to see another bombing run in the south, it looks like. Yep, this Junker is going after these Nueva troops. And in just a second, I want to kind of, honestly, you know the points value and how much everyone costs way better than I do. So, break this down for me. So we have Osttruppen, and we have, of course, Nuev, and then we also have Fusiliers. Now, Fusiliers seem to be a jack of all trades and master of none.
Yep.
But what is the price tag for that? How much are they sacrificing to be that special?
For Fusilier?
Yes.
Well, they're 40 points first off. Yeah, 35 points more than the Panda Grenadier squad. The main difference is, well, first off, Recon Optics is really good for 40 points with a pretty much a Grenadier squad that has a crappy AT weaponry. They're pretty decent, especially with certain decks where you can get them in packs of 5. And if you can get a combat unit with Recon Optics, even if it's a kind of subpar unit, it's always worth it, because just having the extra sight with something that can fight is incredibly useful.
Definitely sounds like worthwhile advice for new players out there. Taking a quick look actually in the south, that 81mm mortar for the French has been laying down some nasty work. That Flak 36 that chased off the Spitfire before, he has given up the ghost. And bizarrely, we're seeing a Panzer III coming up the midline here. I don't know that's really the best option for the Germans. I'm really surprised we're not seeing more infantry from them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a lot of armor just pulled up north, as you can see, a little makeshift French, German Panzer force, Panzer platoon. You know, you got 2 Panzer 35s and a Panzer 3, and they're in a pretty good spot at close range. They can sort of ambush. You know, don't want to get too close because bazookas, of course, but there doesn't seem to be any bazookas to really fight. It seems like Mr. Turton's is content on holding that apple field and using it as good cover.
Now, another thing, too, is that we're seeing the French bringing in... First of all, we're back to a 50-50 split exactly, so no tickets to either side. But if you look on the southwestern side, we're seeing, first of all, a command car coming on, and also seeing 3 more infantry squads. They're all setting up down by this M8 Greyhound. It's a surprisingly defensive position. I'm not sure I really agree with it. How do you think?
Yeah, it's something I'm trying to do some sneaky peeky stuff, go around the southern flank and try to probably do a breakthrough, yeah. The only real threat is the Pack 38. He does have a mortar on standby, so if he spots the pack, kills it, he'd be good to go. Just hopefully he doesn't have to lose Greyhound in response, because that's a rather costly unit to lose.
That's true, and the recon can definitely be helpful. Now, one thing I was just kind of thinking before as you're going on about the German kind of armor lager up in the north is that neither player, technically, historically, besides that Panzer III that we see on the field, a couple of them, neither player is really fighting with his own tanks. The French are basically using all American stuff, and well, the Germans are using all captured French stuff.
I mean, it's more fitting to fight the French with French units, can't you say?
Exactly. We will see the oh my gosh, the poor Junker goes down. Well, he rides out like a hurricane, taking out the Zook.
What? No! Did he crash next to it and kill the Zook?
I think he did, but that would, if whether or not that's the case, that might be the first time I've ever seen an airplane actually take something out when it does.
Was that it, or was that the Panzer III? Because the Panzer III is close by too, and there's the Osttruppen, so I don't know, but that's close.
I don't know, but the Focke-Wulf 190 did get revenge for his fallen comrade, so that first of the Spitfires is gone, and dear God, that thing is fast. Yikes! I can never really wrap my head around how quick that thing is. Jeez.
Now, it's a good plane to have for his deck. I'd always recommend taking Stu-Star fighters whenever you can, especially against the Germans, as that veterancy makes a huge bloody deal.
Now, forgive me for this, I don't know if you saw it on your side over here, but it looks like the 57mm has done its deadly work. We see a couple of the German vehicles are gone. In fact, the 35R and the 39R are both dead. And that 57mm just kind of creeps through the woods like Elmer Fudd.
And oh yeah,
well, hunting
around, getting into the flank, and if you can get it where the sappers is, that would be a fantastic spot to stop any further armored pushes. And
okay, so by the way, we were going to see a Junker airstrike in the middle part of the field, but now we're seeing going after this errant half track. Not sure I agree with deploying this much ordnance against this minor of a piece of equipment, and now it looks like he's probably going to lose it as well.
He didn't even, yeah, I wasn't going to probably hit it, and once again you saw he was trying to dogfight the Spitfires, but when there's 2 planes you can't out-juke the Emperor Suzuka because
it definitely seems that way.
Just outnumbered. But damn, yeah, that half-track behind enemy lines is going after 120mm mortar, and it's just barely not. Really, up 2-star veterancy helped out a ton, because if it wasn't 2-star, it'd be pinned down at the moment. And now he's just rushing, and if he can kill this mortar, it'd be a damn good kill.
I'm a little bit surprised. Apparently we're seeing Mary get her bloody vengeance down here, so, not entirely sure how to feel about that. In the meantime, though, I do want to say we're actually going to see Stoßtruppen going up against the Nuevics, and they were hand-to-hand combat for a couple of seconds, so the Stoßtruppen actually get forced back and taken out.
I'm amazed I'm not too amazed. The new raid do have 2-star veterancy, and having 2 submachine guns compared to 1 submachine gun, it's a really big deal, because it doubles your HE power at close range.
Focke-Wulf is back on the map.
Submachine guns are so important. Yeah,
actually, what I'm concerned... Okay, work this out for me. That 120mm mortar to the northeast of the town for the Germans, where should this thing be firing? Should it be leveling out some more of these buildings? Should it be targeting the forest? If you were Turgon, you know that your opponent's got some new stuff out. Where do you focus that kind of firepower?
I'd be shooting at the Nreve right now, shooting at the Osttruppen, because knocking out those Nreve is top priority, because that's the only good infantry quotation marks Mr. Vyaliy gets, and he only gets 4 of them, so it's pretty easy to keep track on how many he has and how many he still need to blow up. And if he can knock him out, he can move into the town and clear it up. He has fire support with the Pack 40 and the Panzer III, or Pack 43 I should say. He just need some extra infantry to take that town.
Flak 36, by the way, is duking it out against the half-track, and he might be able to blow it to pieces. That guy's coming way too close and surrender. There we go, never mind.
Yep, there we go, easy peasy. And Turgon's still holding on to top, just barely. He's really up Panzer 3, keeping the infantry at bay at the moment. And same with down south. Got the Volta Gear machine gun squad pinned down the pack gun, and I'm thinking maybe Mr. Vyaliy could make a bit of a breakthrough down south now with...
That Focke Wolf's going to come under attack, though. 2 Spitfires are going to top him, and this guy's going to go down in a heartbeat. This poor guy.
Yeah, oh god. A little bit too cocky, yeah.
Starting off so strong, and honestly, the air power for the Germans has been used rather well, but it seems like he's really been dropping off the last, 6-8 minutes or so. It's been 3 or 4 dead planes already. Yeah,
those Spitfires have definitely been doing a good work, and the main thing is Mr. Vyaliy is keeping them together in a fighter squadron. And so, with that, he's outnumbering all the planes, because as you see, Turgon keeps on bringing them out in packs of 1.
And it looks like the AT threat has been taken out in the bottom part of the map, but we haven't seen where that Greyhound went out as well.
I think it got blown up down south somewhere.
I would not be surprised. I'm guessing it's actually probably one of those burning little corpses on the road over there.
Yeah.
But what are we having in the meantime? With the death of that and the Osttroop taken out in front of it, we're back to 50-50 split and just shy of bang on tickets, which in my mind after the game starts never happens.
Yeah, it's not really too good for the French player because of course you want to get as big as a lead as you can, and it's all just downhill from here for Mr. Vyaliy, so he really needs to just make a push somewhere now just to gain the extra ground advantage and hopefully just barely hold on for the rest of the match. Because it not just comes down to technical superiority as he loses, especially once you get to sea phase and see that Jagdpanther potentially, but he just does not have that much in terms of acquisition points, especially when it comes to infantry, as you can see in the town flying in the middle.
It is worth, by the way, noting that the French are bringing in a Bousier. So an M7 was not the priest. It's some sort of religious figure. Priest. It was the priest?
The actual name of the unit?
Yes.
I have no bloody idea, to be honest. It's all French to me.
Je ne sais pas.
Sacre bleu.
I was going to say, you will speak more French than I do, I would do think. Being our neighbor from the north, anyway.
Yeah.
But no, so an M7 coming on in, I don't know, okay, he's going to plop it just inside the town center, well, town area-ish.
Yep.
Where the property values are still good, but worth noting in the meantime, oh no, so the Panzer III in the north takes fire from this M10, and this M10's going to have a brilliant shot as he retreats. This might be the swan song for that poor guy.
All transmission, he's buggered now.
Yes, he is.
Unless he can...
Oh, wow.
Wait, what happened?
Fuel explosion? Has that... okay. Maybe it's just me. But I didn't see the M10 fire again.
Yeah, it just got shot by the M10, blew up.
I didn't see the M10 fire again. I just saw them loading up and not actually firing again.
Huh. But in the meantime... That might just be a decent thing.
Hey, maybe it happens. I have no idea. But we are going to see this kind of command Sherman being called on in and dropping down the first barrage down on top of this Flak 36, which I'm not sure I really agree with in terms of expenditure. But,
I'm guessing he's thinking there's more stuff in there, and it really is, but even knocking out Flak gun will definitely free up his airspace a little bit.
But the funny thing for me is that Flak 36 has 0 ammo now.
Oh, yeah.
He's completely Winchester.
Yeah, and he's about to be completely blown up in a few seconds.
He's going to be all alone riding in that orchard here.
Yeah. And this is great for Mr. Vyaliy, because he's now taking his top-hand flank. He's gaining some ground, because he needs to get ground ASAP.
Indeed, and what do we have? 54 to 46, 605 to 484, and we're now safely into Phase C. So we've talked now a little bit about kind of what the French can and can't do.
Yep.
What about the Germans?
Jagdpanther, 352nd gets a bloody heavy tank. It's a tank destroyer, but goddamn, it's a heavy tank. And that Jagdpanther is scary. Flipping scary, especially against the French player. French ISAP value 13, Jagdpanther armor value 15. Do the math. So unless he can do some flank around tactics in an open field engagement, a Jagdpanther is going to be a real brick in the wall for Mr. Vyaliy.
Was that a Pink Floyd reference from you there?
A what, sorry?
A Pink Floyd reference? This is a brick in the wall, and I was like...
I didn't even mean that, but sure, let's go. Let's go with that.
I was going to say, man, I'm not really not in the right mindset for that right now, but we can chill later on. So here we go. Stroke is actually up in the north. The Sapiers are going to go down pretty darn quickly.
Stud's definitely going to help out. The Wolverine at long distance engagement is going to have a real fun time, as we keep saying, but look at that off-map party. Those Osttroopen might just fall into that.
I don't know. Are they actually stopping inside that? Yes, they are, just barely. Oh, no.
It makes sense because that's a good tree line for cover. So, yeah, it's not going to be too good.
So, actually, tell me about your own personal preference. In terms of off-map arty, do you tend to go for quick, kind of inaccurate shots? Ooh, beautiful shot from the Stroke there on that half-track to the north.
Oh, yeah.
Or do you tend to go for that kind of, drawn-out, kind of waiting for that big climax to really kind of...
I usually do it on the broad mode, so the largest mode, but I also mainly use heaviest artillery pieces, because I use off-map RT for stunning up forces, like rocket artillery, and then attacking rather than getting kills. I'm more interested in the pin-down mechanic than the actual death of the enemy.
And the death of the enemy has just happened, so that poor Stroke 3 has not lived for very long. That poor guy's already gone down. And this Pack 43, actually just to the southeast of that position, might have a beautiful shot this half-track, or he's going to be just pinging off to one side or the other. Nope, weapon damage.
Oh, weapon damage, there we go. Now, Pack 43, so that's going to help out up top, securing that northern ground engagement.
Well, he's running out of time. It's 58-42. He's under a +2 French build-up here.
Yeah, the French are actually doing really good, considering we are in Phase C at the moment, and... he still has the town under his control, and I think that's really just because Turgon hasn't been too aggressive in there.
Now, another thing too, so we have, obviously for the Germans, we have Fusiliers, we have, well, just really Fusiliers as infantry-based AT. Might be super, super lucky these Osttroopen don't have a more active presence.
Oh, we've got the Osttroopen, if you look down south, see the Osttroopen trying to fight an M10, but it's not going too well. Once again, Fusiliers or hand grenadiers or some other AT weaponry there.
And that's exactly what I was going to be bringing on up in just a second. I mean, you beat me to the punch, I have to say. More infantry coming up for the Germans. They look like they may be going for another sustained push into the town. I do not know.
Yep, the Wolverine up top did get knocked out.
Oh, the poor P3 on the southern line got taken out as well.
Oh, damn. Quite a few trades off here, and then that P3 is rather important because that's just a bit of extra fire support to help take that town. Instead of Wolverines now lining up to get shot on their incoming reinforcements.
Triple Sturm Pioneer on the main line.
That would have gone really well if he got them into the town, but because he's outside the town, it's not going to be going too well for him.
I was going to say that Wolverine is just going to carve them to pieces. Now, if I were him, what would you say about using that Osttroopen in the tree line just to the southeast of the Wolverine as kind of sacrificial lamb, kind of throwing them out so the Wolverine engages them instead?
Yeah, that could definitely work out quite a bit, and in this viewpoint, I would definitely do the same thing because I just want to get the Stern Pioneers in.
And that's not going to happen any longer, though. Ooh, one squad goes down. Beautiful death from that Spitfire, who dies in turn for the Focke-Wulfs.
Oh, Stern Pioneers managed to capture half-track and tries to rush him with the flamethrower, and now the Sapeurs, and I'm really amazed. Mr. Vyaliy, he has a 50 cal in the town, but he hasn't brought it to the outskirts of the town where it'd really be most effective, especially against these Stern Pioneers. I'm guessing he's just keeping it back for a bit of extra fire support. It does have a good line of sight down the road. That's just interesting choice here, using it as a defensive instead of an offensive weapon.
Very true. So it's Pack 43 on the southern side of the map. Looks like he's got a beautiful shot into one half-track. But the M10 is going to elude him, which I think is a bit of a shame. Oh, we actually had a furball up in the north. I didn't even see that. Okay, so we have 3 Spitfires to 2 Focke-Wulfs, and it's reminding me very much of Ridley Scott for half a second here.
A mobile rank is definitely going to help out quite a bit. Stun up one Spitfire.
Okay, and help me out. So Focke-Wulf versus a Spitfire. Obviously, we can't compare them historically, but in game, we have one-on-one. Who's going to take it?
Focke-Wulf is boom and zoom. Spitfire is a turn fighter.
Exactly.
So if you can get into a turn fight, Spitfire usually wins. But if you're trying to intercept an enemy plane, the Focke-Wulf will win that engagement. But really, this comes down to AA. AA is extremely important.
One thing I do want to bring up, and I'm a little confused by myself, is why the Sturm Pioneers have not been forced to fall back, or why they haven't fallen back at all.
I'm guessing he wants to keep him at the front. He's really desperate to take that town.
But even at the same time, you'd have to wonder, is it really benefiting you to keeping your guys pinned down the entire time?
I'm guessing in this scenario, because the sappers shooting at them, the sappers are exposing themselves, so the mobile wagon and its mortar piece can now fire back, so it's, yeah.
Interesting. I guess I would have gone a different direction on that one. The sappers are now going to fall back, but the French have delayed just as long as they needed to. 57% to 43. They have 3 times as many tickets as the Germans do. Well, just shy of that.
And we've still got another 13 minutes left, which is pretty good time there for the French if he can keep it through. Even if he loses that plus run, he'd still be in a pretty good position for the rest of the match.
That is true. Now, down in the south, I have a bit of firepower going on. These Fusiliers have been doing very little for most of this last, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so. Are just kind of calmly engaging a lot of firepower, to have to think, between Voltigeurs as well as this M5A1, as well as that mortar team really kind of lofting rounds down range. I'm not sure I really want to be in their shoes.
Exactly, and we've got smoke coming down, which is rather interesting. He's going to be getting those Voltigeurs rather close. They're not exactly storm infantry. I wouldn't use them in close range because only one submachine gun, and they have 2 really good machine guns apart from that. This isn't going to go well. We've got stormtroopers in the forest, and they're just going to ambush and destroy the guys easy peasy like.
That's going to be one thing I was going to bring up. In the meantime, one Storm Pioneer has gone down in the town.
Yep.
But they're Stormtrooping moving in just behind the cover of smoke. Actually, they're in the town now, so the question is, nope, never mind. There is Pioneers right there, so not going to be brilliant for them.
And now in the open, they can't get close enough to deal with the Voltigeurs. Funnily enough, our 50 cal machine guns almost out of ammunition, which is going to be pretty beneficial to Turgon.
Very true. I'm sorry?
Yeah, very true. It's just been an absolute pain for him to try and get into the town, considering it's pretty lightly defended, this town from Mr. Vyaliy. It's only just a few infantry units here and there. Nothing too crazy.
Now, this mobile wagon, though, seems to be worth its weight in gold, which is very surprising for me. So, I wish I could make a better kind of commentary on this, but dear God, this guy's just doing tons and tons of work. So much suppression, so much damage being thrown on out.
Yeah, it's just a nice little fire support vehicle. I mean, 37mm automatic is pretty scary to be up against. You do have a Sherman being rushed up in the mid, and if he can get in close enough, he can knock out mobile wagon.
True, but true. I would think that this Pack 43 should now be shifting down to the main line. Should have some great shots down this main road, but I don't see him doing that very quickly now, do we?
Oh, right, the mobile wagon's actually engaged on the Sherman. He's just shooting out a little bit risky, yeah, but
maybe he's trying to go for suppression? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Turgon should really try and bait his Sherman out of cover so the pack gun can really do the work.
Either that, or somehow get the Sturm Pioneer, the one surviving Sturm Pioneer squad, close enough to use his own Flammenwerfer.
We got a second bloody Sherman into the middle now, so
command one at that.
Yeah, so Mr. Vyaliy really sending in all the armor here to try and clear things out, and that's really all he needs, because there's no AT really to stop him apart from that pack gun on the outskirts.
Oh, but wait, does I see Yog Panther up to the north? Yes, I do. So the Yog Panther is on the field. Kitty's got her claws. And you know what? That 1200 range is going to be fantastic.
It's just going to be about wherever he has other units to really take the northern side. It's pretty lightly defended, as we can see, but he's going to have to make a blitzkrieg if he really wants to get back in this match, because there's only 10 minutes left, roughly. Very good point. Yeah, and he has some stormtroopers, I believe, being brought up. Are they going into the... No, they're going up north.
Ooh.
Are they storm...
The poor mobile wagon has just bought it. He's given his life for the fatherland. The Sherman has taken him out. The 35 are actually on the southeastern road going into Saint-Mère-Église has also gotten taken out as well. It seems a bit of a waste. That guy barely got any shots off at all.
But you see that Jagdpanther moving down south to try and deal with that Sherman threat, and if he can just position himself on that road, he's going to have a fun time. A very fun time. That's true. He's got another 200 meters on most of those Shermans, and really should be able to push back all of these houses. Yeah, so if he manages to knock out Shermans, that's definitely going to clear out town a little bit, but as we saw before, it's really tough for Turgon to really take the town. And I have to give props to Mr. Vyaliy. He's been doing a pretty good job keeping his infantry alive. because you don't really get much when it comes into B phase in terms of reinforcements, and he's holding on to what he got with a pretty limited amount, I have to admit. And they're not even really highly vetted or crazy, they're pretty bog standard.
Also worth noting that there is a upgun 76mm coming in for the second Blindee. I think we're going to have a furball ourselves here. Spitfires are coming on in. Focke-Wulfs are trying to prove themselves game. One guy is fairly stressed. He's going to go down pretty quickly. Yep. Oh, never mind.
And the Focke-Wulfs, because of their speed, can pick out engagement, and they're just going to be able to get out easy peasy, like, which is the advantage of the Focke-Wulf compared to the Spitfire. You can pick your engagements.
The Yogg Panther is lining himself up for a shot or two. This is, honestly, a terrifying vehicle.
Yep.
Not the largest thing, but at the same time, you ever seen one of these things up close? It is small, but you can just sense the power.
Mm-hmm. It's really good, as I said before, because of the armor value compared to AP. There we go. Sherman goes down, but I have to say, Yogg Panther is probably one of the most cost-effective heavy tanks the Germans get. It's only 300 points, which isn't too bad. It's got good armor, a killer gun, and it comes in an infantry deck. An infantry deck gets one of the, I have to say, the best heavy tanks in game, which is rather funny, I have to admit.
It is worth noting, though, technically, and I hate to disagree with you slightly, but it is technically an assault gun.
It is, yeah, it's technically an anti-tank gun, but it's a big gun, it's got big armor. It doesn't have a turret, but in Steel Division and Wargame, turrets don't make huge of a deal. Of course, if you get flanked, it's a bit of a pain, but most engagements are long distance, so you don't have to worry about it.
Very true. But it definitely does reflect the kind of style at this point. The Germans were forced heavily into using assault guns, much cheaper at this point in time. 50 cal finally does go down. And we're seeing actually an artillery barrage coming on down for this 170mm truck just outside town looking for the Shermans, and I don't know how much damage is really being done here.
There's just a few hits here and there. We got a bit of breakthrough up top's helping out. The Grenadiers pushing, but 6 minutes, 30 seconds. He's got to catch up by 1.2k points. I don't think Turgon can take us, mate.
True, and actually I think he's even going to have most of his troops falling into some very negative attention here. The Sturm Pioneers coming into flame and fire on their own. One pinned down already. That one's got a little bit engaged and worried, but not too badly. And actually these Pioneers, it's going to be a flame war, my friends. Oh, but the Germans got on the footer first, and they just burned down the reputation from this French.
That's going to be very important.
I was just going to make that comment. Actually, they're going to be nice and close to the Sherman, too. They got forced to surrender on this.
Oh.
Not quite.
No, he's just popping in and out.
I just have to focus on this, because this could be a brilliant capture.
Yeah. I mean, it's a right set piece here for all the fire, and the Sherman and the Stern Pioneer having a little bit of a duel. Oh, there we go.
Okay, well, pin down the other one instead, so the other one gets a shot off, but no, it looks like the French are going to get...
Oh, this is close.
Flame, falling back?
Falling back, there we go.
And there's a surrender!
Oh, burn, baby, burn. That was really tense, yeah, but... Turgon was really first one to the shot, and
with that, actually the middle of the French is collapsing. A half track surrenders, an infantry surrenders, the Sherman has surrendered. Pioneers are really the last one in the area.
Yep.
And they might collapse as well.
Pioneers
no, they die.
Go down.
They die.
I'm really amazed now looking at it. Turgon didn't really think about attacking the town from the northern flank, because he has a pretty good road and even forest into here. So maybe attacking through the north with his Sturmtruppen and Stern Pioneers would have helped out a bit, getting that flank instead of going down the middle in the open.
I'm trying to find a way. Actually, I'm looking right now at the Yogg Panther kind of opportunities. He's going a little bit farther to the south. He might be able to shot or two, but it's kind of iffy.
Yeah, it's a bit risky moving it around here. That could be a bazooka unit in the town. Fortunately, we know they're not. But yeah, if he can maybe do a breakthrough down south, lock down the road into the town, yeah, it would help him out immensely. And there's no raw AP to stop him.
No, I didn't notice, by the way, we have a Nebelwerfer on the southern side, and he's blowing apart that orchard.
There we go. Neighborhood 42 as well, which is an extremely scary unit.
So that 6-pack of rockets is terrifying. I think a quick look is at 300 millimeter. I saw it was a 280, but 300 millimeter. Jeez.
Yeah, and it leaves a napalm effect, so it does damage after it's already blown up. It's a great area denial weapon just because of that nape.
Yogg-Panther does take out one of the Bofors in the middle part of the map. We're back to a 50-50 split, and everyone's going after this Yogg-Panther, the P-38 Lightning, and the Spitfire. But the Focke-Wulfstar should be out to play.
Yeah. Oh, Spitfire's coming in to intercept, Joe. You're going to get jeez.
One Spitfire has gone down, though. They're going after the Lightning still, but they're not going to catch that guy. He's slow, but he's not that slow.
Yeah. The veterancy definitely helped the Lightning quite a bit. And in a turn fight here, the Spitfires really have advantage.
Ooh, one does go down right now, but he's turning and burning that Focke-Wulf. The other one does get away. Oh, wait, what?
No,
he's still oh, that's a mistake.
Oh, he shouldn't have turned, buddy. He shouldn't have turned. And there we go. That's not going to be good. And now we got a Wolverine in the middle, which I guess is trying to stop the Yogg-Panther. He's not going to do too much at long range, so unless he can flank around.
True, we also have another Bousier, and actually looks like an artillery strike being coming on in as well.
I'm thinking for the French player, he must at this point run out of infantry, because we're not really seeing any more infantry units being brought up. And to run out of units, only 3 minutes left into the game, that's pretty perfect for Mr. Vyaliy.
True, well, if he wasn't up 1.4, I imagine we'd feel quite differently about this, but that is true. That is true.
He's got some armor and vehicles, but that's just really all we can buy at the moment, but with only this much time left, that's pretty much perfect French play, because no matter what, you're just going to lose stuff as the French. Then we don't have elite, they're pretty bog standard, and especially in a town fight like this, how he managed to hold on for that long is pretty impressive.
Now, one thing I think I'm a little bit disappointed by is how conservatively Turgon has been playing the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, he definitely seems like... I think he's trying to base all this strategy around the Yogg-Panther and getting it into good positions, but he's just not been able to do that, as we can see. Oh, J-88?
I was going to say, interestingly, he wastes 6 rounds going after a command car.
I think that's really the only target, I guess, but...
Is that the only thing you can see? Yes, it is. That's a shame.
Just try to pick off what you can, I guess. I mean...
At this point, he's just playing for pride. I think that's going to be it. I think the French is definitely going to take the end of this one here. So, lead us through. What was going well for the French here, and where did the Germans stumble?
I think the Germans definitely took advantage of the town advantage he had early on, with just the amount of stuff that he could get, but he played rather conservatively in the town, and he lost because of that, because the French managed to hold on to that pretty well, and from that, did a decent job holding the flanks. They didn't make any crazy pushes anywhere, but they just got enough to keep that +1, +2 advantage back and forth, and just keep that for the majority of the match. So, as you can see later on, even though he's still getting the +1, the French player has got pushed back a little bit, but it's taking some ground up top, so what am I talking about? But he just managed to hold on with a good amount of light vehicles and good infantry play.
And I have to say, maybe a quiet contributor to the French win might have been the indirect firepower. That 120, was it 80? No, the 81mm mortar. He's still here. He's here for almost like the 3rd or 4th minute of the game. His other brother did go down, but this guy's been here forever.
Yeah, that mortar's definitely been helping out down south, because anytime the Germans tried to do a push, they had to start firing a rain because of how choke pointy that bottom mortar did. It's not exactly great, and that'll be a good game.
There is the victory over here for the 2nd Blindee, so they may have lost their country to the Germans back in 41. Very close
on kills.
Wow, that's surprising to me, actually. End score 1923 to 484. Let's take a quick look at the kills overall, though.
We got to see if that bazooka dude died to the...
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I'll definitely be checking that out in just a second. So,
does it even count on the kill? Because it definitely... I looked closer, and it definitely crashed into that building. It's in the garden now. But, I want to see if... Let's see.
So, losses. So, Zooks, right? So, Zook.
Yeah, losses. We got Wrath. And then...
No, that was the Junker. That was the early mortar right there, too, so...
Yeah. I think it doesn't count as a technical kill, yeah. I mean, if you take a look at kills losses, we can probably... Yeah, if you look at... Wait.
Yeah, Yeah, no. Yes, yes. Okay, so Mr. Vyaliy has lost 3085.
Yep, exactly. While Mr. Turgon... So yeah, he definitely lost out bazooka to the Stuka. We're correct on this. I mean, you guys can just watch the replay back and check for
That's
yourselves.
amazing, though.
But this is important stuff. That's the first time I've seen a crash plane actually kill something.
I've been wondering about that ever since, honestly, this game came out. I mean, again,
Yep.
I told you guys, I'm a Company of Heroes 2 guy. That happens occasionally, but this? No.
Yep. In War Game, sometimes when like an AA missiles fire, it just misses and then it goes into the ground. Sometimes it hits a unit when it goes into the ground. It's extremely rare, but it's just awesome how they model it.
That's beautiful.
How you know, ordnance still goes off even when it really shouldn't. But yeah, kill death is pretty standard all round.
But yeah. So
Yes.
Congratulations to Mr. Vyaliy, and bad luck to Mr. Turgon there. I was really hoping, you know me, I'm pulling for a German victory, I won't lie. And I will always be pulling for a German victory. But no, any kind of final thoughts there, Ryan?
No real final thoughts, just good play from Mr. Vyaliy, or Mr. Vyaliy, or however you bloody pronounce his name.
The Frenchman.
The Frenchman. And I just think Turgon really just needed to push harder in the town, because especially in A phase, he has stormtroopers and Ostroopers and MG42s and mortars and just so much stuff to take advantage of. And numbers when it comes to a town fight, but I just think a armoured push going around the flank wasn't the best idea. He should have just defended the flanks.
That definitely seems like a fair assessment there.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for me. How about you there?
Yeah, I'm good. I think that's everything about this match.
Exactly. So, everybody, thank you so much for tuning back in for another one of these. I apologize I was gone for a week there. I had a problem with the mobile. My computer practically blew up.
Just set itself on fire.
It was a whole protest. It was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But that'll be it for me today, folks.
Yep.
This is Con Ulrich, and
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.
see you guys all next time. Have a great day.